Hi, and welcome to my channel, Laura's Library Card. So today's book review is the Midwinter Mail-Order Bride by Kati Wilde. I honestly quite like this book, and I would have been happy with more pages in the book. The premise is kind of hard to state. Basically, we have Kale the Conqueror is this barbarian king who has taken over a number of kingdoms and is ruling, and one of the members of his cabinet has sent away for a bride for him. So this princess Anja arrives, and she is potentially supposed to be a bride for Kale, but she basically makes comments about how she's only going to tolerate him, and he's like, nah, he's a consent king, and he's like, no, I'm not going to marry you. And she feels kind of rejected by that, and she says, okay, well then I'm going to go home, especially since there is a problem at home anyway. Will you help me with this problem at home? And he says, sure. And so a lot of this book is really just the road trip between the two of them as they are traveling back to where the princess is from. And yeah, there's kind of a lot of miscommunication, but it's a lot of understandable misunderstandings between the two of them, where based on their own individual pasts and their ways of viewing the world, they think that the person's saying something else. And that is a little annoying, but mostly I could overlook it because I was understanding what their perspectives were, and they were both also having really good other communication separate from that issue. So this is kind of like a slow burn, even though it's a relatively short book, because both of the characters are interested in each other and are lusting for each other, but they don't give in until, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through. And I felt like the road trip part, it was just the two of them, which was a little unusual, but I enjoyed it. There was times when they were together. There was times when they were having conversation together. There was times when they were really connecting, and I felt like there was some emotional development there. We get a chance to see who these characters are and how they would potentially fit together. So all of those things are things that I like to see in my romances, and I could understand why they would be interested in each other. This was not a perfect book. I felt like I wanted more. I wanted more world building. I wanted more understanding of the magic system. I had a bunch of questions as to why the princess kind of, when she first shows up, she's like, I'm going to kill the king. But I was like, why? And then that's just kind of dropped, and then they're pursuing this spider thing. I felt like the ending where they finally get to where they're going and then they try to defeat the spider. I don't feel like that's a spoiler alert. She wants him to help her defeat the spider. I felt like that was a little rushed or a little too easy or something, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. I thought there was emotional development there. I thought there was an opportunity for characters to take each other's measure, and I understood why they would be interested in each other. I felt like there was good connection. I thought that the sort of premise and plot was engaging. I thought the world and the magic system were interesting, even though I had a lot of questions about them. It seemed kind of mysterious, but kind of cool. So yeah, I felt like this was worthwhile. I wanted it to be a little bit longer. I enjoyed the writing style. I would read more books by this author in the future. I will say there were some other people, when I was looking through some of the reviews, who were like, this is a historical fantasy, and the dialogue was too historical fantasy, and I didn't like that. And I was just like, I don't know, that critique is not one that I had, and I felt didn't really make much sense. But yeah, this one was good, and I would recommend, and I want to check out more by Kati Wilde in particular. And it looks like this is the start of a series that this author has written called The Deadlands, and so yeah, I'm intrigued to read more, and hopefully those subsequent books are a little bit longer, and I can kind of enjoy being in this universe a little bit longer, assuming they even are the same universe. But I think so, based on how there was a tease in after the epilogue in this book. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know down below if you have read from this author or read this title before, and I will see you next time. Bye.